hello everyone, and welcome to the TalentHut TESOL Teachers Podcast. I'm your host, Nova Kat, and today we're exploring a question that defines every educator's career. How do teachers evolve when education itself keeps evolving? Joining me is Mrs. Naaz Hafiz, an experienced educator, leader, and mentor who has taught across CBSE, IGCSE, A levels, and IB systems as well. Her journey is a proof that teaching is not about staying in one place, it's about continuously growing and inspiring others along the way. Hello, Mrs. Naz. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. We're very thrilled for having you today. So, first of all, let's start talking about your teaching journey. So, when you reflect on that journey, what has teaching across such different systems taught you about the essence of education? Like the things that never change, no matter what syllabus or exam board we follow?
First of all, thank you for having me and giving me this platform to exchange views with you. Um, I have taught for over 25 years now. I've been to different countries during my journey as an educator in CBSE, IGCSE, A levels, and IB curriculums. And there's one thing that is common, that is the bottom line. Education is not about curriculums or textbooks. Ultimately, it is about people. We are dealing with these little people who are full of potential. And we feel that if we can make them learn, make them feel valued, understood, and encouraged, I think that is what true education is all about. So, my purpose as a teacher has always been to spark that curiosity, build resilience, and help learners grow as independent thinkers.
Yes, it is true. That's amazing. Of course, the students are what matter most in this case. True. So, moving from the CBSE's structured approach to the IGCSE's skill-oriented framework, we can say, this must have required like a major shift because there is a difference between the two curriculums. So, what personal and professional adjustments, we can say, did you have to make to adjust this?
Well, as the famous Greek philosopher Heraclitus has said, nothing is permanent but change. So, as educators, we have to constantly be adaptable and change and align with whatever is the need of or requirement of the curriculum or the times that we live in. As I said before, I've been teaching for 25 years. So, I should be archaic by now. But I have constantly adapted, and now, at this juncture, my Gen Z students tell me that I'm just like them. So that I feel is a great quality in a teacher. If you can make your latest students feel like you are just like them. So they never feel like I'm old world. I often tell them I'm 3 times your age. So they are, no, 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 you are not old world because you're just like us. So basically, it's all about your mindset. A teacher has to be somebody who refuses to grow up not in terms of your physical age, of course that will happen, but in terms
Sure.
of your mental age. You have to always come down to the level of the student. And when you change your mindset, you know very well that whether it's CBSE or IGCSE, syllabus is one thing and skill is another thing. So finishing syllabus is never the goal in an IGCSE curriculum. Yeah. So you have to focus on developing skills and not just rushing through chapters. So I've moved on from explaining and dictating to guiding and exploring. For instance, like in CBSE, there used to be some fixed structures for writing, but in IGCSE, I explore a lot. I give them samples. They deconstruct and analyze other sample writings, and then they build their own checklists. So that is a different approach where students feel responsible about their own learning.
True. Yeah, it depends on brainstorming a lot rather
Yeah.
than the old methods.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, if you want to help teachers who don't know the difference between these curriculums, could you describe like the core identity for each one, especially when we're talking about, for example, IB and IGCSEs, because some people mix them up.
Yes. See, every curriculum is ultimately, it has its importance in some way or the other. It is suited to certain needs of certain stakeholders. Yeah. So CBSE is a very structured and knowledgeable curriculum. It's you can say it's content heavy. So people who love structure, obviously CBSE is the way to go. IGCSE is more about application, how you learn, how you think, learning about learning. A levels is obviously very scholarly, research based kind of syllabus, and IB has a holistic approach. It encourages inquiry, reflection, and global awareness. So these philosophies they influence your classroom culture. So in a CBSE environment, usually a teacher is at the head of the classroom, but in IGCSE and IB, the teacher is just you can say first among equals, I would say. You learn alongside the students, you explore alongside the students.
True. It's like a student-centered way,
Yes, yes,
100%.
yes, yes.
So, from your own perspective, after that you have tried all of these curriculums, which one do you think like is the best method for students, of course?
Yeah, I feel, once I graduated from CBSE to IGCSE, I loved IGCSE as well. But my personal preference is IB. Yeah, because it really makes you very creative. You need to do original work, original research. There can be no plagiarism. You have to interpret text, especially in terms of like English teaching. You have to link everything to TOK, the theory of knowledge, whether it's language, whether it's humanities, or any other kind of subjects. So fundamentally, it changes the way we teach, the way we approach any kind of subjects, really. So there are projects, there are oral commentaries, there are presentations that you do. So that way, you have to adapt the pedagogy. Yeah,
Okay.
discussion,
Yes.
questioning, Socratic questioning, exploration. So it's more like a journey. I would say IB is more about the process than the product.
True. Okay, so talking about the process. So if there are teachers who are looking to start teaching, for example, IB and IGCSE, which is like a new method for them, what should they do to handle it? Like, what kind of skills should they learn first?
Yeah. So as teachers, first thing, we need to be lifelong learners. We cannot get complacent. And I feel your teacher's training at college level really does nothing to make you a teacher. I feel personally you become a teacher after you've taught for about 7 or 8 years. And if you are always on the path of research and you try to explore different curriculums, you talk to different people, talk to your peers, and then discover or decide for yourself which one do you enjoy. So for example, if you enjoy clarity and structure, you need everything to be structured for you, then CBSE might be good for you. But if you are a very open-ended person who loves to just go on the journey without really wondering about the destination, yeah, and
True.
exploring what might come out of it. So you are whether you love discussion, inquiry, creativity, an open-ended approach, then maybe IGCSE and IB would be a great fit for you.
Okay. Yes, perfect. I think nowadays it requires a lot of creativity, just like what you've
Yeah.
said from a teacher. Okay, perfect. You've also worked extensively with public speaking as well and debate. So, in this case as well, how can teachers, even those not teaching English, for example, use debate, dialogue, or discussions to make learning more engaging and reflective? Like, what happens when we give students like the space to disagree intelligently, of course, in class?
Yes. So debate is fundamental to thinking, I feel. Constructing arguments using logic, right? Using rhetoric like logos, ethos, pathos. That is fundamental to thinking. And if you are able to develop clarity of thinking, then you're good to go in any subject for that matter. So, not just in language, but in other humanities or even mathematics for that, or matter, or sciences. logic is something that works everywhere. So if you can really simplify things, break down things to their very core, and make people understand things very simply, then of course you understand your topics better. And debate does just that. When you're researching for any debate topic and constructing arguments and trying to persuade others to come to your point of view, obviously you'll be using arguments of different kinds, and that will obviously help you to be really, really clear about any topic.
Okay, and in this case, Mrs. Naz, is it good for all levels of English, for example, or does it require like a B1 or more than that to practice debates, for example?
See, there can be no really bar set for debating. Everyone and
Mm.
anyone should try debating, because it sharpens our skills. It makes us fluent obviously in the language. Other than that, we become very sharp in retorting to people in a very balanced way without getting passionate about things, right? So in a very civil and courteous way, you learn to retort to arguments. You learn to be open to the other side or other opinion as well. You learn to acknowledge that different points of view exist, so you are not too pedantic about what you think is right. So I think that is amazing for any level. And for maybe for a primary level student, it may be little things, whether you love tea or you love coffee, or some simple debate, or you love ice cream, and as the level grows, the topics could be more complex. Yeah.
Good. So yeah, we can scaffold the
Yeah.
practices and the debates depending on the students' levels.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And talking also about leadership. Okay, so how do you build a strong teaching culture when where your team includes teachers, of course, from very different, we can say, curricular backgrounds? What leadership approaches help you create a trust, we can say collaboration and shared purpose?
See, when we are teachers, we are also collaborators. That is again fundamental to being an educator. We have to collaborate. We have to learn teamwork, group work. We in IB and IGCSE, we do a lot of group work. I used to do it even in CBSE. So when we learn in a group, it is a combination of so many different intelligences. Everyone has their diverse, learning styles. So that all comes to one table, and you create a shared purpose and trust, and you are able to lead initiatives and celebrate accomplishments together. So obviously you construct new knowledge, I feel, when you come together as a group. And that is what leadership is all about. Leadership is not about, it should not be a top down approach actually. That is what works for me.
Okay, it is true. And how much do you think peer support and peer observation is important in this case?
Peer support and observation, as I said, I do it with students as well. I give them group projects, and then I observe how each one is, reacting to the tasks. How are they responding? How are they collaborating? How are they communicating? And especially in today's day and age where we are using AI, communication in a group is something very, very, very important. So thereby peer evaluation, peer observation is extremely important, because there's this person who's observing your work, and he's able to show you your blind spots or the parts that you may not have noticed. There's a person who's looking at you from a very different perspective. So it's a great way to learn and grow. And you should actually, I feel you should solicit feedback from your peers. I do that often, although it's difficult, but you should solicit, because then you get to know things about yourself which you do not know. As I said, the blind spot.
Okay, yes, that's beautifully said. And what do you think if we did this also among teachers? So, do you think it's also effective, just like what we do it with the students, to let teachers absorb each other, learn from each other methods, maybe?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It goes without saying. You should always enter other people's class, or let other your colleagues enter your class. I do it often, and currently also in the school that I teach, we have our I invite sessions where other teachers come and observe our lessons, or we have peer evaluation sessions where they come and observe and they give their feedback, and then we have a follow up discussion, and we learn from each other what techniques are they using, what is working, especially with today's generation. You know how Gen Z is, you know. So
True.
we compare notes on how to deal with them better, or how they are responding to certain ways of learning, etc.
Right. It's a great thing that you have mentioned the Gen Z. So what do you think about that? And because there are still nowadays lots of teacher misunderstands it and get confused with it, especially that it's really in schools nowadays. So what do you think about this? Is it really difficult to handle?
I do not think so. As I said at the beginning, I believe that as a human being or as a teacher, you should be a child who refuses to grow up. Yeah, we are educators and we are dealing with these little people, from the age of 6 to say 17, right? So please don't forget when you were 17 and how you were. So that empathy is very important, right? Please do not lose that spirit. So I feel I interact with the students at their level. I make them feel very, very important in the class. I'll tell you something, one of my students gave me feedback last year that when I enter the class and the way I greet them and welcome them to the class every single day, and I greet all of them with their names, they feel very good about it. So what I teach in terms of subject matter, or what I do in terms of my duties as a teacher, apart from that, the fact that, oh, I greet each one of them with their names, it matters so much to these people. So we have to care about these little people who have enormous egos, as we know, and we have to respond to that ego. They are just a work in progress, so we cannot expect perfection from them. We are the grown-ups, and we have to go down to their level. We have to make the adjustments and the alignments.
True. Yes, the rapport between the teacher and the students is what matters most, especially the first impression, just like what you said when you first enter the
Yes.
class. So
Yes.
yeah, that's amazing. And also you have mentioned AI. So with AI, online platforms and global classrooms changing the game nowadays, how can teachers embrace innovation without losing the human like connection? Okay, that makes teaching meaningful.
Well, I feel AI is just a tool. Yeah, so we should not make it a crutch. Yeah, we should not make it a crutch. Now, AI has been on the scene for about 2 3 years now, 3 years, I think. And what I see around me is that people are forgetting to think. They don't want to take the pains to think on their own, ideate on their own. And that problem I see in the students as well. So ideating and brainstorming is suffering. So that teachers have to emphasize for themselves as well as for the students. So AI should be just used as a tool, and use it. First use your brain, next use AI. That's what I feel is the right approach.
True. It's very helpful for teachers, but yeah, we should
Yes.
use it wisely.
Yes, it
True.
should be a supplementary thing, not the fundamental thing there in learning or teaching. Yeah.
True. Yeah, like an assistant.
Yes. Yes.
True. Okay, so also talking about women empowerment. So you've been a strong voice for women's leadership in education. How do you see women educators reshaping the future of schools today? And what advice would you give for teachers who are ready to lead but still doubt themselves?
I think women are natural born leaders and natural born educators. Women do not need a formal qualification to lead or to teach. Yeah, they are the first nurturers in the family. Yeah, so the way women have this in their personality to shape the culture at home. Yeah, they are the first teachers for the child. That carries over or spills over to schools as well. And naturally women have very soft personalities. They have this I can say soft skills is something which is a very, very important part of any women educator. So obviously they are flexible, they are natural mentors, they have higher emotional intelligence, I feel. So obviously they can be better leaders and better mentors for their colleagues and for students. Today, education, as we were just discussing, it's all about AI, and sometimes people they get too lost in academics and they forget that education is more about the whole person education or the holistic approach rather than just the academic side. Nowadays, we talk so much about SEL, that is social emotional learning. We talk about HOMs, the habits of mind, like persistence or resilience or being able to bounce back from any kind of setbacks. So that kind of SEL and HOM or soft skills are extremely important in that case. And so women can shape these approaches better, which I would call the non-academic approach. Yeah, apart from the core subjects, teaching, etc.
Okay, so in this case, you agree that some people say are that the women's are better educators than the males, the men, because we have this sense of motherhood, maybe,
Yes.
for
Yes.
example. So in this case, you agree with this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so after, of course, such an incredible career, what has teaching itself taught you about people, purpose, and yourself as well?
Uh, I think teaching has been a lifesaver for me. Let me tell you that. It has given me a purpose in life, something to live for. Uh, at the outset, I did not intend to be a teacher. I wanted to be a civil servant and I was preparing for civil services exams. It was when I could not succeed there and I thought there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Teaching saved me, actually. So, as they say, I think, if I'm not wrong, it was W.B. Yeats who said, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. So I feel teaching has given me impact, or I would say lifelong impact over my students. As I said, I've been teaching for 25 years. So some of my students are very close to my age, just about 5 years younger to me, maybe. So they are now grown up, they have kids, they are in the biggest places in the world, and they still stay in touch with me after years of leaving school. And now they shout at me, in fact. They give me advice on life. So many times, if I'm disappointed, they are the ones who come back to me and inspire me. So they're more like friends. And I feel that is my greatest legacy and my greatest earning in life. So anytime I need a friend or a shoulder to lean on or anyone to be used as a sounding board, it's my students who are there with me. And I was on Facebook. I joined Facebook in 2010, and I was connected with about 2,500 of my students. Then I watched a documentary, the social, I think it was the social network, or I don't remember the exact thing. It was about the downsides of social media. So I deleted my account. You won't believe, all over the world, the students were scared. It was COVID time, 2020, and they thought something has happened to me. And they searched for me everywhere. They tried other social media in my city. They got my phone number and connected with me on WhatsApp. So I was very surprised to see that. I created a panic in them. So that is the biggest lesson of teaching. That teaching is a lifelong network. It's not that you join one day and you retire the next day. There is no retirement for a teacher or an educator, I believe.
True. Yes. A teacher will always be remembered. We can say
Yes,
just to be a part of others' life. I think
life.
that's amazing.
It's
True.
incredible. It's really incredible.
Yes, it is. I totally agree. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nas, for sharing your wisdom and passion with us today. Sorry, to all the teachers listening, remember, great teachers don't just adapt to change, they become the change themselves. Thank you so much, and see you next time with another episode. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Nob.
so much,
Thank you. It was
Mrs. Nas.
wonderful talking to you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.